I'll tell you, watching this sequence here, at no time did I ever think it was going to go in the direction it went. This totally threw me off when I first saw this in the theater.
Yeah, no, it was brilliantly done, honestly. I wish more movies would do stuff like this, where it's just a complete rug pulled out from under you, where you're like, what is going on here?
Welcome to the Opening Kill podcast.
Before we begin, a quick warning. Opening Kill is a horror podcast that contains adult language, disturbing themes, and graphic descriptions of violent acts, especially the kills featured in each film. We also dive deep into plot details and character arcs. So if you haven't seen the movie we're covering, expect full spoilers ahead. Listener discretion is strongly advised.
Opening Kill, the horror podcast that slices deep into the genre we love. We're talking slashers, supernatural nightmares, creature features, and everything in between. Every episode, we break down a different horror film. From its killer cold open to its blood-soaked finale, we track the body count, analyze the scares, and give credit where it's gruesomely due. From iconic franchises to hidden gems, you'll find them all here. Hosted by filmmaker and horror scholar Brian O'Connor and Michael Duran, lifelong genre fan and scream scene specialist. So sharpen your knives, turn off the lights, and let's get into it. This is Opening Kill.
And welcome to episode 50 of Opening Kill. I'm Brian O'Connor, rejoined this week by my broadcasting partner, Michael Duran. Michael, welcome back.
Here I am. I'm back and ready to roll. Gonna have fun. Halfway to 100 episodes, so I'm gonna go ahead and pat ourselves on the back. That's quite the undertaking. We did it.
I think so too. There you go. We have a good movie. Yeah, this will be a couple in a row here. This one was definitely much more fast-paced than last week's The Exorcist, which still a fine movie, but it's not as quick-paced as Barbarian, which is the movie we're going to cover today here on Opening Kill. I want to thank all of our new listeners and viewers who subscribe to our YouTube channel, where you can get the video version of this podcast, so you can check that out. Anything new that you've seen here lately?
I have seen two films. Both of them were scare previews for me, so I got to check those off. I watched the first one was Five Nights at Freddy's 2, which was fine. I enjoyed it. It's nothing like spectacular, but it does its job, and I thoroughly enjoyed my time while watching it. Would I watch it again? Probably not, but it's still fine. And it does make me even more excited for the third one that is coming out. So I'm still invested in that franchise. Then the second one I watched, I loved. It's my favorite movie of the year. Okay. Even though we're 11 days in. It is Primate, about the killer chimpanzee. It was so much fun. I went to the cinemas by myself midday and just had a jolly good time. It was like an empty theater too, so it was perfect. So much fun. I recommend it. If you love animal attack movies, this one is like crazy practical effects. The fact that the chimp is just a dude in a suit, like you buy into it. It looks fantastic. The way he moves is so realistic. Like, I don't know who that guy was, but it's really, really well done. There's a couple moments where you see him they did a good way of filming it to where he looks smaller. There's a couple instances where he looks way bigger than he should, but they really did do a fantastic job of making him feel real. And if they can do that, it's great. We don't need to hire animals to be on sets where they really shouldn't be. So if we can do people in suits for a lot of animals, then boom, that's fantastic.
There it is. Well, I'll tell you, I saw a movie that I had not seen before. It was a science fiction horror film from 2023 called No One Will Save You, written and directed by Brian Duffield, stars the amazing Caitlin Dever, who didn't have hardly any lines. There were very few
it's
lines.
this one. It's
yeah,
okay.
it's where
Yeah.
the aliens show up in the middle of the night and they essentially take over this town, and she's one of them that they're trying to get, and they look like your traditional close encounters of the third kind aliens with the big heads and the big eyes. They're mean as fuck. They are not nice. And she's able to kill off a couple of them, which gets the attention of the other aliens. And now just an incredible, this movie, I can't say this about a lot of horror films. This one actually scared me a few times because it just the tension, everything about it. And the soundtrack, gorgeous. The sound design was amazing. Cinematography was amazing. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. No One Will Save You. It's a Hulu original. So good movie.
Yeah, I watched that one when it like first came out. There's like no dialogue in that movie. And I really did enjoy the designs of the aliens. They were simple, but they were all unique as well.
Yeah.
There's lots of different like types of aliens in this one. The only thing I did not like was the ending. I was kind of like,
the ending, if I will say anything bad about it, that I will agree with you. The ending was kind of like, what was this?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But the journey there is really, really good.
Yeah. Well worth the watch. And I love sci-fi and love horror. And when it's done right, put together like that, yeah, well worth it. So
yeah, for sure.
Barbarian. This was a movie that just blew my mind when it came out. It was written and directed by Zach Krager, who would go on to do Weapons last year. This movie was released September 9th, 2022, has a runtime of 102 minutes, rated R for many reasons, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. I was filmed in Detroit, Michigan, Malibu, California, and Bulgaria. So a couple of U.S. cities and then out in Europe. It stars Georgina Campbell, Bill Skarsgård, who was really cast against expectation. I mean, it's like his casting was used as misdirection. Yeah. And he pulls this off so well because you don't know whether he's a good guy or a bad guy. And I love Bill Skarsgård anyway.
Yeah, same. They really nailed not only like that casting to fool everybody, but just the marketing in general. It didn't give you anything about what this movie was. The only thing it gave you was the setup with two people, the Airbnb fiasco. That's the only thing they gave you. And then they kind of like gave you a little clips of just some crazy shit's going on. So everybody was able to go in blind essentially to this thing, and that helps so much. And he continued that with Weapons too. So like I appreciate that Zach Krager's it's clearly important to him to maintain some mystery for his movies.
Yeah, definitely. Justin Long is also in this, and oh my God, he's just what a scuzz he is in this movie, but he's so good.
Oh, he's so good.
And then Richard Brake, who plays Frank, the original owner of the house we're going to be talking about. And he is notable for 31. He was in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. He was in Game of Thrones. A whole bunch of credits. He's just elite level creepy character actor. So he didn't have he has a featured part in the middle, and then they really dump on some makeup and prosthetics at the end. But very creepy. And it was just a lot of fun watching him. I've seen him in so many things, and so he was really good in this.
Oh, he's just a gross guy, which I mean,
he really is.
He doesn't look like a trustworthy fellow. So I think you just got to cast him to his strengths, but he looks like a carny that's not doing good things behind the scenes.
Oh, that's a great analogy. Yeah. A great description of him. So yeah.
Shout out to the carnies.
They made this for $4.5 million. Originally it was less. And then the production company changed and they got some other people involved and they upped the budget. It made $46 million. So it did all right. Its tagline, come for a night and stay forever. Won a ton of awards. The Portland Critics Association Awards for Best Horror Feature, the Phoenix Critics Circle Best Horror Film, Critics' Choice Super Awards for Best Horror Film, and Golden Trailer Awards. The damn trailer for the film won for Best Horror Thriller Trailer Bite for a feature film. So it
Nice.
racked up some awards.
Good for it. I think it deserves it. Should have gotten an Oscar, but whatever. We can.
Yeah, what happened with that? Or a Golden Globe at least.
At least a Critics' Choice. Nothing. Okay. Whatever.
Nothing. I know. So if you've not seen this movie, it is a horror thriller about a young woman by the name of Tess. She arrives at a Detroit Airbnb in a really nasty neighborhood.
This is the darkest neighborhood I've ever seen.
I've never seen
black.
anything. Yeah. I'd never seen anything quite like this. So she learns the house has been double booked. She decides to stay the night with the guy that's already there. Things happen, and Tess discovers horrifying secrets hidden deep beneath the house, turning what seemed like an awkward mix-up into a terrifying fight for survival. So this is Barbarian.
And that's just scratching the surface of what this fucking thing is.
Whew, it really is. So Tess Marshall, who is played by Georgina Campbell, gets to this rental house. It's the middle of the night, and like you said, Michael, it's just pitch black. You can't see the other houses around. It's like there's no streetlights or something. There's
like
nothing.
There's just a spotlight on this solo house. Like that's it.
Yeah, that's about it. And it's so weird that it's like the only house that's there, but it is, and we accept it.
Right.
So she's there for a job interview, and the house is occupied by Keith Toshko, played by Bill Skarsgård, and they try and figure out what's going on. And as I mentioned from the get-go, you don't really know if you can trust this guy or not. He's very awkward. The conversations that begin and last for a while, the interactions, everything's very awkward, although it does get more comfortable towards the end.
Right. But like they did this perfectly. Right. But they did this perfectly because it's so split down the line of where it's like, it's either completely innocent and this is a really sweet guy trying to just make her feel comfortable because this is a horrible situation, or it also feels like it could be sinister as well. It's just like you're constantly going back and forth being like, oh, is that a red flag? I don't know. Is that a red flag? It's so well done. Bill Skarsgård, like, he's never the awkward guy. He's always like the cool, like, collected dude, or he's either, like Pennywise. But this was so fun to see him being like that kind of bumbling, little awkward dude who's just either trying to flirt or this is just who he is. Like, I don't know. It's really cool.
So she decides that she's going to stay there overnight, and Bill Skarsgård's character decides he'll sleep on the couch and let her take the bedroom.
Yeah.
And she's trying to, no, you don't have to do that. And he's like, no, that's the right thing to do, and blah, blah, blah. And so they decide that they should probably wash the sheets of the bed because he's already been in the bed. So they do start doing laundry. And in the meantime, they're sitting around a table and they're having some wine and getting to know each other. And that's when the conversation gets a little more comfortable and they start to trust each other.
But like there's some tense moments with, like, he makes her tea and she didn't see him make it. So you're like, don't drink that because you don't know what he put in it. And then with the wine, it was funny because he waits for her to come out. And then he's like, I haven't opened this yet. Do you want some?
Because I noticed you didn't drink the tea. Yeah. So this is just an awkward conversation. Yeah, but I don't want you to think that I did anything to it.
Right. I'm not trying to drug you. Promise.
Nope. Not at all. So, yeah. So they start drinking wine and they get to know each other. And so the laundry gets done and they're putting the sheets on. And it's a kind of a funny little moment where he's trying to be silly and trying to put her at ease. And he's like wearing the sheet and he's going to, all this stuff to make
He's showing her the perfect way to put the covering on the blanket. And it involves looking like a ghost for a second.
Pretty much.
And
there's maybe also not the best idea in this house.
No, probably it's spooky enough. We don't need to up the ante at all. And then there was also this really well done scene where he asks her what the job interview is for, and she kind of mentions this filmmaker and this documentary that she did that was clearly a very, very, very small documentary. And he's just like, oh, I've seen it, which added to like, why would you have seen that? And so you instantly get a little bit more like suspicious because like, are you just like clearly following her? Like, do you already know everything about her? Like, what's going on here? So I thought that was a good touch to just kind of throw that in.
Mm-hmm. And she calls him on it and he starts describing it scene by scene. And she's like, you have seen it. And then it turns out he has a connection to it or something. And so
he's like he's
God.
a founding member of like a band. And, and that's why
funny.
He's there. He's looking for a new like house for the band. And so he's doing some shopping. So that's why he's in Detroit.
Right. So they go to bed, not together. And she awakens in the middle of the night and finds that her bedroom door is open and he is out on the couch having a night terror and he's moaning and making these noises. And she gets up and goes and wakes him up and scares the shit out of him.
Right.
And yeah.
And then she's kind of like, did you open my door? He's like, what? And how it's placed is also genius because like she like looks and the door's open and she can see Keith. So it's like if he did open it, he did it so he could just watch her, which is kind of gross feeling. And as she's like looking at Keith before she wakes him up, you see in the background a door close.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So you're like instantly like, oh shit, is someone else here? And it doesn't give you that answer for a while.
And I'll tell you, watching this sequence here, at no time did I ever think it was going to go in the direction it went. This totally threw me off when I first saw this in the theater.
Oh yeah, no, it was brilliantly done. Honestly, I wish more movies would do stuff like this, where it's just a complete rug pulled out from under you, where you're like, what is going on here?
Mm-hmm. And again, this scene, just great sound design and cinematography, some of the camera angles and tricks. And, the score to this film is really, really well done too. So, and this is one of those scenes where you get to see that. So she gets up the next morning and Keith has already left to go somewhere. She goes to her job interview, which goes well. And as they're walking out onto the street, her future boss asks her where she's staying, and she tells her that she is staying at this Airbnb in the Brightmoor neighborhood. And the woman looks back at her and she says, "You're kidding, right?" She goes, "Well, no, you're kidding. You need to get out of there. That's not safe there." And she goes, "Oh, it's a cute little house." Well, yeah, it is. But when she went to the interview in the morning, we get a first look at that neighborhood, and every house looks like a tornado had gone through there because, I mean, the whole thing, this is beyond a slum neighborhood. Those houses are just, oh my God. I don't even know how
no
to
one lives
describe
there.
them. Yeah, no,
they look
exactly.
They look like 300 years old and haven't been like touched in 200 of those years. Like they look just completely fallen apart. Like there's roofs that are caved in, like siding is, you can see into the house. Like it's completely dilapidated.
It's like out of The Last of Us or something. I mean, it's
like,
it's
clearly
crazy.
No one else lives there. So it's also just like, why is there this one house there? That's so weird. Because you see her driving to the interview and she's just looking around like, what the fuck?
And I was saying that too, to have this really nice Airbnb right dead center of this neighborhood where there's nothing else around. That's crazy.
I mean, at least they can put on the listing, quiet neighborhood.
Yeah, definitely. And it is for now.
Yeah, for now.
So she gets back to the Airbnb, and this kind of freaked me out a little bit too, because there's a homeless man who is running up the street at her and yelling her to leave. And she's fumbling for the key because it's in a key lockbox. Mm-hmm. So she's got to get the code, get the key, and then unlock the door and run in. And she does, and he hits the door just as she slams it and locks it. And then he's looking through the window, and then he eventually wanders off. But that got me a little bit too. It's like it was close.
How close it was, and then just how it was set up, because you see it's like locked in on her, and then in the background, and it's like fuzzy, you see the shape that it kind of like at first you're like, is that just like a debris or something? But then you're clearly seeing, oh no, it's moving, and it's moving towards her. And so you get to see this before she even notices it, and that
Right.
kind of ups the tension. And she immediately, as she closes it, he's at the window, so it's
Right.
very close.
So she decides to explore the house a little bit, and she accidentally locks herself down in the basement, where she discovers a hidden corridor, which leads to a very disturbing room. It contains a camcorder. There's a stained mattress. Yuck. A bucket and a bloody handprint. Oh. So this is one of those rooms where obviously bad things have happened.
Yeah, nothing good comes with those items in one room together. It's grimy, it's so gross, and you're instantly just like, okay, leave immediately. But she can't, because the door is locked and her phone is upstairs, and the key to let Keith in is in her hand. So she's just like completely just trapped down there. Luckily, he shows up, and she's there's like little windows at the base of the house in the basement where she is, and she's able to get his attention and kind of like explain to him what's going on, so he's able to get in the house, yada yada. And she's like, we need to leave now, immediately. There's a mattress and a bucket, and he's just kind of like, what are you talking about?
He said,
and
his response was like, it's a basement. Of course that stuff's going to be there.
Of course there's a bloody mattress and a camcorder and a bucket and a bloody handprint. Of course. It's in every neighborhood basement. Chill out. And this is where that moment where you get that, they talked about it earlier, where it's men will just kind of walk in and not have any cares in the world, while women have to be a little bit more reserved. And so this is a perfect explanation of that, where he's just like, well, I gotta go see it. I want to see it. I'm not saying I don't believe you, but I need to see it for myself. So he ends up going down there, and she's like, well, I'm not going in there again. So she stays back until she loses him. He's just gone. He's not answering anymore. And so she's finally like, fuck, I guess I have to go back in here and find this idiot, because he's probably gotten himself killed. And this is where we get a glimpse of just how massive this underground system is.
Oh,
because
man.
it goes on and on and on. And you're just like, first off, what like company would make this underground house for a person? Like, what is going on here? And then we learn later that a company did not, which it kind of makes it even more impressive that he was able to pull this off. But it's massive, and she eventually does find him, along with like some like looks like cages and all sorts of stuff. There actually is like a cage with like a bowl in it. You're like, what is going on under here? And she finds him, and he looks disheveled. He's like crawling at her. He looks panicked, and he says something bit him, like something bit me. And you're like, what? And then you see what bit him, and just for a glimpse, and then does it actually show him die here?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet,
so,
because she's with him, and all of a sudden they're arguing, over what to do next. And then this naked, deformed woman, later referred to as the mother, comes in and attacks them.
Right. And then it cuts to black, right?
No, we get this.
The opening kill.
So she grabs his head and smashes Keith's head against the brick wall, the concrete wall. And we see this, and no more Keith. Poor Keith is gone. So I guess that erases any doubt that he was, a bad guy, because he wasn't.
Right. He was just a guy who's happened to be at the Airbnb the same time that she was, and now he's no more.
Butcher knife for me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's gross. And it's just the whole like tension leading up to it is great. And so it adds to that when we do see that moment, you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
And it's violent. Like his face gets demolished. It's mushy now.
Right.
And so, yeah, it's a butcher knife for sure.
Then it goes to blackout. And then This is one of the most interesting transitions I've ever seen in a film, because we go from this very dark and violent and messy kill scare sequence to a freeway where actor A.J. Gilbride, played by Justin Long, is cruising along. And as it turns out, he is the house's actual owner, present day, and
Right.
he rents it out through an agency as an Airbnb.
Right. And he's just driving along this ocean highway. It's beautiful, the top downs in his convertible. And he just gets a call from one of his colleagues, and they are calling to let him know that he has been dropped from the latest project that they're all working on because a woman is alleging that AJ raped her. And he's like, well, no, I maintaining his innocence. But they end up dropping him. And so he's kind of, you're like, okay, it's just such a stark transition into this whole scene that you're learning about this seemingly disgusting man. And which, again, they don't let you know quite yet if he is actually, you're left wondering, like, what's going on here. I mean, he seems very sleazy, but you're still not entirely sure what's going on. Until he goes out with his friends, and then he lets you know that, oh no, he did, and he just still doesn't get it. Like,
she said no at first, but by the time we were done, I'm like, you fucking sleazeball, really?
But on the 30th no, it turned into a yes. See, everything is fine here. Like, he just does it. It is not clicking in there that, like, no, you can't do that. You are not a good person. And yeah.
So he's talking to his lawyer and managers and all these people, and he says, one quick phone call to this girl will probably clear this whole thing up. And they say, absolutely not. Are you to have any contact with her? Are you stupid? So yeah, then he goes out to the bar, like you said, and then when he gets back, he's completely shit-faced. So what does he do? He calls her, and he's so drunk, he's slurring his words, and he's like, I am so sorry if, I offended you in any way or did something that, and it's like, so you just admitted on a voicemail that you raped this girl and you're drunk, and it's like, man, you're an idiot anyway, and a terrible, terrible human being. But now you just told the world that, which we already knew, but now everyone knows. So you're going to go to jail, buddy.
Right.
And we never get that far.
We don't. And the reason now he's at that Airbnb because he had a meeting with his accountants, and they're basically like, you don't have this anymore. You don't have this anymore. You do have this one random property that you can go live in now. So he shows up, and he's drunk when he first shows up. So he doesn't realize that there's other people's shit in his house until he sobers up. And then he's looking over like, what is going on? So he notices like the bathroom supplies.
And I think it's important to note, this is 2 weeks later.
Yes.
So 2 weeks have gone by, and we know Keith is dead. We don't know what happened to Tess yet, but we can safely assume she didn't get out of that basement chamber of horrors.
Right. And so AJ, during his investigations, finds his way into the basement and into the secret area, where at first he is plumb tickled pink because he's just like, holy shit, look at all this extra square footage that isn't in the listing. I'm going to make a killing. So he goes up, he grabs this like tape measure, and he's just measuring out all this square footage. He's so stoked. It's like, he's just like a kid on Christmas. And the music here is really good too. It feels very chipper, and it's just
chipper.
And he's not scared. He's not looking around at all this clearly sketchy thing, and he's not weirded out at all. He's just thinking about square footage here.
Right. Well, he ends up discovering, another tunnel system, the one that just happens to be where Tess is. And he falls into this pit after he is attacked by the mother. And he's screaming and doing all this, and Tess comes out of the shadows and tells him to shut up. And
he's
yeah.
like, when he was exploring, he stumbled upon this room that's like playing like breastfeeding videos.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're like, wait, what?
And how long you should breastfeed your children and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
And and they're just like on repeat. They're just playing over and over and over.
It's just dilapidated room and with breastfeeding videos. And then, it all comes together in just a little bit. I'm sure you're wondering how it could, but it's a full circle situation.
So now
here.
we go into a flashback sequence,
Mm-hmm.
and it reveals the house's original owner, Frank, abducting and imprisoning women in the 1980s, sexually assaulting them and abusing subsequent generations born in captivity. And there's a scene where he goes to the store so he can buy diapers and baby wipes and all this other stuff. And as he gets into his car, he notices a girl getting into her car, and he follows her to her house, and she's unloading the groceries, and he waits for her to get in. And then he gets out of his car. He puts on these coveralls. It makes him look like he works for the water company, knocks on the door and says, "Excuse me, ma'am, I'm sorry to bother you, but we're checking for water leaks or whatever. And can I come in?" And she's like, "Oh, of course. Come on in. No trouble at all." And so he goes upstairs to the bathroom and unlocks the bathroom door or the bathroom window, and then he leaves. So it's clear that he's going to come back in the future and break in and kidnap her and everything. So we see what kind of a terrible human being he is. And this actor is just so good in this role. And again, it's Richard Brake, who, really, really just does these creepy characters so well.
Yeah, no, he's gross, just an icky man. He does then return to his home, and we see the neighborhood in its glory, beautiful, cute. And he's talking to his neighbor, who tells Frank that him and his wife are selling their house, and it is kind of shown that people are moving out of this neighborhood slowly, and Frank's just like, well, I'm never leaving.
Yeah.
And he doesn't.
No, he certainly doesn't. Well, we flash back now to present day, and the mother imprisons Tess and AJ, and treating them as surrogate children, she reaches through the top of this cage, this underground cage that they're in, with this giant ass bottle. And Tess tells AJ, "You have to drink this bottle." And she's holding it. And so she does it first. And then he refuses. This is just gross because there's like all these hairs on the end of it. And it's nasty.
It's disgusting. Like, I would not. I'm with AJ here. I don't know if I could put my mouth on it.
Right. Well, but I think it would be better than the alternative because she drags him away and forcibly breastfeeds him. And this mother creature, she's naked. So you see her big whoppers hanging out here, and they're big and they're nasty. And so, so he gets out that way. Tess escapes, with help from a homeless man. This is the one that chased her earlier. His name is Andre. Turns out he's a good guy who is fully aware of what is in this house. For some reason, he knows.
Yeah. And so she escapes through like that window leading to the basement. He helps her out. And just as he gets her out, you see the mom like reach out and yelling in the window. So she's able to get to safety temporarily. But she then, I don't understand why she did this. Like, I'm sorry. I don't know this dude. I'm not going to risk my life for, like, you were down there for 2 weeks and you're like, well, we got to go back to free AJ. Like, are you out of your goddamn mind?
I think
she's clearly a good person.
She's a good person. I wonder though, if she actually knew his backstory, if she would have
probably not
put as much effort in, because the police show up. The police are very reluctant to come into this neighborhood too. And they show up. And, she's begging for them to go back to this house because this guy is locked in the basement. And she tells them the whole crazy story. And they're like, you just need to go sober up, ma'am. And then they leave. And
Yeah,
she's
they just treat her like a
standing
drug
there.
addict. Like that they're instantly dismissive. And that was kind of the case earlier, because when the homeless man first chases her down into the house, she calls the police and they're just like, we're not sending anybody. Like, just, you're fine. Like, we're not going to that neighborhood.
Well, and then with her interaction just now with the police, the way she looks, I
Yeah,
probably
I
would have
mean-
thought the same thing. She's,
Because she has been in the basement getting breastfed for 2 weeks. Like, yeah, you're not going to look great.
Right. Well, while Tess is out there on the streets, AJ finds a room that the mother avoids, and he encounters Frank, who is now bedridden, and he thinks Frank is another victim, but he soon discovers evidence of everything this guy has done. And
Because there's videotapes. He's taped everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I do like that AJ all of a sudden gets like a moral superiority thing where she's like, how could you do this?
I know. The irony.
Yeah, you're like, well, obviously, yeah, terrible person, but look who the messenger is of this moral superiority.
Yeah.
Little rant.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting to see that change all of a sudden, but it's not going to do him any good, as we'll see later in the film. But Frank then commits suicide with a revolver that he had in his bedside. So yeah, that's the end of Frank for kill number 2. So,
and before this happens, there is a moment where the mother emerges outside and she's trying to break into Tess's car, but Tess drives it into the house and the mother, and briefly you think, oh, maybe she's dead, but no, she was just knocked out. And so the mother is still oot and a boot.
But she rushes into the house after that point to rescue AJ, and then he accidentally shoots her with the gun, thinking she is the mother. It's like, oh, you piece of shit. Come on.
Yeah,
Seriously.
clearly two different people. One's giant.
Yeah.
And then, Tess is just not.
So the two of them get out of the house. They notice right away that mother is gone. The mother is no longer pinned between the house and the car. So they flee. They take refuge with homeless Andre. And Andre explains that the mother is the result of Frank's decades-long cycle of abuse and incest. So now we figure out how all of this comes together. And they're sitting like in this, I don't know, this culvert or wherever they're at. Maybe it's not a culvert. Maybe they're in the open air, but
no, it's this like shelter that he's made. And he says she doesn't go in there. It's whatever reason.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
It kind of looks like a grain silo or like a water tower. Like that's kind of what it looks like.
Right.
And he's kind of immediately proven wrong when the mother breaks the fuck in.
The timing was perfect because, as soon as he said that, there she is. And she grabs Andre, rips his arm off, and beats him to death with his own arm for kill number 3. So,
yeah, it's great. Just
so
sudden.
It's just out of nowhere.
And then, while she's beating poor homeless man to death with his own body parts, Tess and AJ are running up I think it's a water tower.
It's a water tower. I think it's a water tower. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're running up the water tower. AJ, the fucking idiot that he is, he drops the gun just as the mother is catching up to them. And then AJ's a very interesting character in this, because there are very, very brief moments where you're like, are they going to give him this? Are they giving this dude like a redemption arc? Like,
yeah.
It's very, very interesting. And this is one of those moments where you're like, oh my gosh, they're going to make this guy, this unredeemable guy, redeem himself, because he tries to save both of them. He's trying to save Tess and himself. But then he immediately shows what a piece of shit he is, because he throws Tess off the water tower, knowing, because he knows that the mother views her as her child.
Right.
And so he's like, the mom's going to jump after her. And she does in one of my favorite shots of the movie because it's so ridiculous. You just see like the water tower and then you see the mom just like swan diving towards the camera. It looks so preposterous, but I loved every second of it. And the mom catches Tess and crashes into the street and kind of splats. And you're like, okay, I think she's probably dead. She's not, because she's seemingly indestructible. Apparently 40 years of incest makes you really resilient to stuff.
I mean, if Superman can do it, so can the mother.
Amen. They're basically one and the same.
Yeah. AJ goes running down and attempts, he finds Tess. She's still alive, and he attempts to justify his actions. And this is ridiculous, too.
I threw you. I knew you were going to be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. You knew I had to do that, right? To save both of us. I'm like, oh, come on. Well, Mother's not
I didn't
dead.
have a choice. No.
And she wakes up and gouges out his eyes, which was a fun kill for kill number 4.
And then she cracks his head into like a coconut.
Yep.
It is very satisfying.
Very much
for this
so.
character.
And it's kind of an emotional moment now in a way, because the mother attempts to comfort Tess, and Tess, overcome with remorse, shoots the mother dead, and it immediately goes to a blackout. And then the credits start to roll, and then it comes back, and you see her limping down the street, and the sun is starting to come up as the next day starts, and more credits, more limping, and then just credits. So, and that's the end of the movie. So the mother was kill number 5.
And I'm glad they did give the mother like that kind of like moment at the end where you're like, it's not her fault. Like, she's not
right.
Like, and you might think the barbarian is her. It's like, no, it's the human males in this movie. But like,
right.
So like the mother's a victim. And it's, so I think that was important to have this moment where of like, even Tess, like knowing like, I do have to do this because you're just like, you're done. Like, there's nothing that can be done to you to help you at this point. Like,
right.
We are far beyond that. And so it was a mercy kill, but I'm glad that they at least gave it that moment of like, this really sucks for this character.
Final kill count 5. My favorite character was actually Keith. I just thought he was such a nice guy and awkward but nice, and didn't deserve to die the way he did.
No, he did not. And this is tricky because I resist saying he's my favorite character because he's not. Like, he's really a terrible piece of shit. But AJ's stuff is so entertaining.
Yes. I almost went with AJ, yeah.
Yeah, like I'm hesitating to be like, AJ's my favorite character, but the parts with him in it, I was laughing a lot of the time. So he's an interesting character. Right. So I'll say he's the most interesting character in the movie.
That's a great way to put it. My favorite kill, I'm going to say it's Andre, just because it was so unexpected, and to be beaten to death with your own arm. I mean, there were some great kills. I mean, they're really, except for the suicide one, I thought they were all really well done. But I think just putting it into context, Andre the homeless man is my favorite kill.
That's a good one. Yeah, there's not a weak one in this movie, but I'm going to go with AJ's just because you get the eye gouging, you get the head crush, you get the death of a terrible person. So it's all good.
I would say my favorite scene is that AJ's death scene, the whole sequence there, from the top of the water tower down to when he gets it. It was very satisfying to see him go the way he did. That was probably my favorite scene. And like you said, watching Mother fly down the side of that water tower like Superman, that did it for me. I kind of laughed a little bit and went, oh man, this is ridiculous, but how cool is it? So I think that whole sequence is my favorite.
That's a good one. And I remember in theaters when we were watching it, when she is doing her swan dive, like the whole theater was like laughing, but not
Yeah.
in a, like it was a appreciation laugh. You're like, this is stupid and I love it.
Yes.
So yeah, no, that's a great scene. I think my favorite scene is just the intro. I think the shit with Tessa and Keith, where it's a different kind of horror,
Mm-hmm.
but it's very tense until
Yes.
we finally get a little bit of levity there towards the end of the night. But that whole scene is just such a like, what's going on? You're just looking at every single move to try to figure out motives, and I think it's really well done. So that's my favorite scene.
You know what's interesting? We were talking about AJ because he's such a dick. Zac Efron was actually the first choice for that character. Zach Krager had envisioned a beefcake kind of himbo, and so he really wanted him. Zac Efron declined the role, so he decided to take the character's image in a different direction and cast Justin Long for his quote, warm and disarming and charming, lovable presence on screen, which he thought would make AJ more engaging to audiences. And I think that was a good pick. I thought that
100%.
I don't think it would have been the same with Zac Efron.
It would not have. And even though like Zac Efron has charisma and Zac Efron is really funny.
Right.
So I don't think he would have done a bad job, but like I think I prefer not Zach,
Justin Long.
Just drawing up like there. Justin Long, like he's so good in the role, and he's a different kind of menacing because Efron would have had the physicality that would be menacing,
right?
And Justin Long does not have that, but he has this little thing in him that's just so disconnected of emotion and like empathy that's equally scary. So I think I like that he wasn't physically imposing as well.
Right. How screwed are we? I'd be screwed. I'd never make it out. I don't like underground places. I don't like deformed monster naked women type characters. So yeah, I'm not sure I would have been okay. Although would she have let me have died? I don't know. I mean, she probably would have cradled me to her bosom and I would have been her new surrogate child, but I don't think I would have done well in this situation.
Yeah, I don't know either. And my question is like, does everyone who stays here dies, or like, or only if you happen to make your way down there? Because the monster gets out every night, and that's what we learned was the door. Like she opens it, but like, so I don't understand entirely who gets like, what made her kind of lose her mind in this instance, as opposed to clearly they rent it out all the time. So that's my only indication of whether or not I would have died. It's like maybe if I would have just stayed there and been a normal guest, I could have left.
I think that's the difference. No one else went down into the catacombs beneath the house, I
don't think I would have. Like I'm not an explorer, especially basements. I don't like them, so I would have. The only thing I would have gone down there for would have been the toilet paper, and then if I ended up getting locked down there, I would have just waited by the window. I wouldn't have explored. So I think I would actually be fine.
Basements and attics are off limits to me. I just won't do it.
I'm not a big fan.
Seen too many of these movies, Michael, and I know better. These are great teaching instruments, if nothing else.
They are. They're like the new Aesop fables, where there's lessons to be learned.
Yep. Final girls score. You know what? I give her a 10.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm going to go up high as well. I'll do probably like a 8.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What do you give it for a star grade?
5. Like it's so good. Like there's so many just twists and turns. I love the random just like fade to blacks and then popping up in like a completely different area from where we were before. I love just how the story was laid out and the mystery of it all, where they didn't let you know what was going on before you entered the theater. And I think that really adds to it.
Yeah, I give it a 5 too. It was just really well done. The story was solid. And just everything about it, even the swan dive from the water tower included. I give it a 5. So a rare double 5 score for a movie here on Opening Kill, which makes up for some of the ones we did over the holiday season. So we apologize for that. because we had some real winners there. Not, but
Oofed
all
up,
right.
yeah.
Slasher survival tip: if the house feels wrong, the neighborhood feels wrong, and a stranger tells you have to leave, do not investigate. Do not explore the basement. Curiosity does not make you brave. It makes you next.
Yes.
So
Words to live by.
those words. I think so. Anyway. Yeah, that is it. That is Barbarian from 2022. So well worth the watch.
Definitely.
Want to say hi to our good friend, who is, of course, Courtney from Jaunty Hunts, the supernatural paranormal podcast that you absolutely have to check out.
Yes, if you love paranormal ghost stories, anything in that vein, you're going to like Jaunty Haunts. Courtney's kept the secret for 30 years of her life. Now she's sharing it with the world, and she's allowing others to come onto her show and share their experiences with the paranormal. So if you love ghosties, ghoulies, all things that go bump in the night, Jaunty Haunts is the podcast for you.
Get it wherever you find and listen to your favorite podcasts. Scare Preview. This is the segment Michael and I preview films coming up that we have taken notice of. And I have a film directed by Rob Savage, who did The Boogeyman in 2023. It is a film called Other Mommy. You've heard of this?
Yes, I read the book, and I am so pumped.
Okay.
The book's called Incidents Around the House, and it was a legitimately terrifying book, so I cannot wait.
So this stars Jessica Chastain, Jay Duplass, and Karen Allen makes an appearance in this film as well. It's about a paranormal entity known as Other Mommy, who threatens a young girl and also starts haunting her home. It was originally going to be released on May 8th, but, and I'm so glad they did this, not that I want to wait longer to see this, they pushed it back into spooky season and gave it a October 9th release. So still a ways to go, but I like the fact that it's coming out, close to Halloween.
Yeah, I'm pumped. I read the book last year, and then shortly after I read it, it was kind of like announced, and I'm still like, okay, cool. This is going to translate really, really well. Other Mommy is one of the scariest characters I've read in a very long time, so I'm hoping she's just as menacing on screen.
I'll have to check the book out. I
Yeah.
I haven't read it, so yeah.
Definitely check it out. It's worth the read, and it's kind of cool because it's all told through the perspective of the kid. So you get the book through this child, which I think adds to the scariness of it. But no, it's really worth the read for sure.
Okay, cool.
And mine is a movie called Night Patrol, and it is actually starring Justin Long. He's going to be in this. Really cool cast. Dermot Mulroney's in it. Flying Lotus. CM Punk, the wrestler CM Punk, is in this as well. Lots of people, even like rappers, Freddie Gibbs and YG, who I'm a fan of their work, they're in it as well. And it's the story of an LA cop who discovers a local task force which is hiding a sinister secret that puts residents of his neighborhood in danger. And it is a vampire movie. So I'm guessing the secret this task force is hiding is that they're all vampires. So I'm pretty pumped for that. I like the cast. Justin Long, he's such an underrated horror actor. I think there's not a single horror movie that he's in that I don't enjoy in some capacity. So I'm pumped for this one.
All right. Well, that is it for this episode of Opening Kill, episode 50, Barbarian. Please subscribe to us, follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well.
Yeah, we got the video versions and then just the regular podcast version up there as well, plus little short clips that you can get a little taste of the upcoming episodes with. So lots of fun to be had at the YouTube. Definitely check that out. And if you want to email us, you have a movie recommendation, comment, concern, email us, openingkillpod@gmail.com.
Very excited about next week's episode. It was my favorite movie of 2025, Until Dawn.
I have not seen it. I specifically have been waiting till we're going to cover it to watch it.
Okay.
So I'm excited. It's been one that I've wanted to see for a while, but when we were putting the list together, I'm like, well, I'm just going to wait till we, review it. So boom, I get to watch it this week. I'm excited.
Perfect. All right, Michael, good to see you back in the hot seat today, and we'll come back next week with Until Dawn.
Till dawn. See you then.
Opening Kill is produced by Mystic Cloud Productions and hosted by Brian O'Connor and Michael Duran. New episodes drop every Thursday wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And don't forget, you can watch the video versions on YouTube. See you next time, if you survive the opening kill.